Hi, it's Brigit here from Silverfit on my can't remember 10th video for Silverfit at home. Hope everyone's well. Today we are going to focus on the thoracic spine area, so the mid-back, and typically this area requires a little bit of attention because we tend to do most of our everyday activities in forwards flexion. So we tend to be kind of in this position a lot of the time. I'll just do it from the side. Okay, so we tend to be forwards, you know, on our computers, watching the telly, doing our activities, and as a result, we can develop these little hunchbacks. And we're going to try and address that today. So we're going to get a bit of extension and a little bit of mobility in this mid portion of the spine. And why is that important? Well, it's important so that we can breathe properly because we want to be able to expand the airways. If it's jammed here, our neck's going to suffer, our lower back's going to suffer, just to name but few, okay? So we're part of a linked chain. We want it all to be in good working order. And also typically, the spine should be more, it starts off less mobile at the bottom and it gets more mobile as we go up the spine, with the neck obviously being the most mobile. And actually, so the thoracic should have more mobility than the lumbar, and actually in real life that isn't always the case. So we're going to get some movement through that thoracic spine and it will enhance our lives. Okay, so we're just going to start off in a cross-legged position, and if you can't manage that, just find something that you're comfortable with. I'm on a block. You can raise your seat if you want to on a cushion or blocks, and we want to start off with a straightish spine. Okay, so we've got a natural curve in the spine. We want it to be nice and tall, but we don't want to feel stiff. Okay, and if you imagine that your spine is a river, you would want that river to flow without any kind of kinks or blockages. So we're just going to roll the shoulders back and down a couple of times. Okay, and we're here. And then as you exhale, you're going to scoop into those abdominals and we're just going to flex. So we're shortening the front spine, and the back, our back is going to look like a back of a spoon. Okay, and then as we inhale, we're going to lengthen the front spine. So we're lengthening the front. Try not to tip your head back. Try not to overarch the lower back, and then repeat. So this is our exhale, we're scooping, we're flexing, and this is our inhale, we are extending. Okay, exhale, and now we're going to add a few swirls. So just getting some mobility going through the spine. And if this is awkward or really uncomfortable, just change your leg position. Okay, have a play with it until you can find something that's manageable for you. We're changing direction. Nice one for the shoulders here as well. Okay, and then we're sitting up nice and tall. TP fingertips behind us, and again just give that front spine a nice little stretch there and release, give it shape. So your left fingertips are going to come down onto the floor and you're going to reach up nice and high. So first of all, we're going to take a side bend, but first of all we want to establish some length. Okay, so get that length going, and once you've got the length, then we are going to go for a side bend. And side flexion, so side bending, is the mobility here is one of the first things that we sort of lose as we age. Okay, so we're going for a banana. We don't want to be like that. We want to have length, we want to have commitment, and then come back. Other side, lengthen, so we're sort of telescoping up out of the waist, and then over to the other side. So we want to keep it nice and we want to keep the spine long because we don't want to compress, we don't want to herniate those discs, don't want to slip disc. Okay, and then we're here. And then just roll out the wrist a couple of times in one direction, a couple of times in the other direction. Place your hands on your shoulders, elbows together, check in with your posture. Okay, if you're slumping, sit up. And if you can't not slump, just raise your seat even more. Okay, and then we're here. So we're opening out the chest. We quite often tighten our pectorals, the pecs here, which is kind of quite often goes together with rounded shoulders and a sort of little hunchback. And then we're going to change direction. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, lovely. Shake it out. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees. and we're going to do some cat-cow stretches. So we've been here before, but we'll just remind ourselves of the good alignment here. So we want to have our wrists underneath our shoulders. You can fan your hands out, so make a nice big surface area here with your hands. And we're pressing in with the shins, and as we exhale, we've got the flexion. This is the cat bit, this is the flexion. And we tend to be quite natural with this, we know what we're doing. And then with the extension, which is the cow bit, this bit, it can go a little bit wrong, we can start to collapse. Okay, I'm collapsing now, so we want to sort that out. We want to get those muscles working, nice long spine, traction, not compression. And then as you exhale, we're flexing. And as you inhale, we are extending. We'll do one more flexion. And one more extension. Okay, just be mindful of what's happening here in your lumbar. We don't want it to collapse. We don't want it to look like there's a V, okay? We want a nice smooth curve, okay? And then we're back onto hands and knees. You're going to tuck your toes under, and imagine someone's got a hold of you by your tail and they're pulling you up towards the ceiling. Now, we're downward facing dog, okay? If this isn't good for you, just do a child's pose or something else instead. We want to prioritise the spine, so we can soften the knees, get that spine nice and long, as opposed to this. We don't want this. Okay, so the spine is the priority here. Wobble and blobble your head around, and then we're just going to softly pedal through the feet. You want to be pressing into the knuckles of your fingers, not into your wrists. And then we're gently going to lower the knees, and we're going to come into a child's pose. And then from here, we're going to come back onto hands and knees again. Now, at any point, if you need to give your wrists a little shake out, just let them recover, just go ahead. And we're going to, from here, we're going to do some box press-ups, which are kind of harder to do than they look like they should be on paper. So with the press-up, as always, we want to keep those elbows tucked in. Not as always, but most of the time when we're doing Pilates, we've got a tricep press-up and then push yourself up. So be careful here that we're not doing this. This is child's pose. Okay, we want to do a press up. So you're hovering forwards, engage those core muscles, hover forwards, and then once you feel a little shake there, come back up. Okay, I'm going to do one more like this, and you're very welcome to do more. But if your wrists are giving you problems, if there's any you're feeling sort of problems in the wrists or up the arms or anything at all, any nervy pain or shooting pain, you must stop, because it's just going to, it will be, give you an injury. We don't want that, okay? So we need to be able to differentiate between good pain and bad pain, okay? So back onto hands and knees. And then we're just going to give our wrists a little stretch. So again, only if you can. So we're just going to turn the hand over like so, and you're just going to go forwards and backwards a little bit. Okay, this can feel very awkward for some people, because we can be very tight in our forearms, texting, computers, modern day life things. Okay, so go very, very easy. We'll do the other side. It looks like nothing, but it's pretty powerful. Okay, and then we're on our front. So we're coming into the prone position. So we're in the prone position, that's lying on our fronts. Just make sure I don't crash into my bicycle here. And then we're going to come into the Superman position. And as you exhale, we're going to lengthen the opposite arm and the opposite leg, like so. But before we do that, we want to have our forehead on the floor, and we want to have our core muscles on. So rather than collapsing here, we want a bit of a tilt, so we're engaged, we're active, and then as you exhale, you're going to lengthen your opposite arm, opposite leg, and the length will convert to height, and then you lower. And then we do the other side, and you lower. And you're alternating. I'm going to do 4 more each side. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. And every time you lengthen the arm and the leg, engage your core. So you don't want the lower back starting to pinch. And if you feel the pinch, just come into child's pose. One more, that side. So we're working cross-laterally and we're working into our mid-back. We want to feel some powerful muscles going on in our mid-back, okay? And then we're back into child's pose. Some of us get cramp in our feet when we do that. I always get a little hint of cramp. Okay, and then we're back onto hands and knees again. So we're going to do our thread the needle. So engage those abdominals, try not to slump or collapse. We want to keep engaged through this exercise. Press your shins into the floor, and then as we inhale, we're opening out. And as we exhale, feed the arm through, thread the needle. Try not to do this with your bum. Okay, and out. We'll do 3 on each side. Again, you're welcome to do more. There we go, nice chest opener. We're really getting some nice expansion through the chest. We're working all the fascia here. I'm just going to swivel around to do the other side so you can hear me when I talk to you. So we inhale and then we exhale, scoop through. So you're sort of grabbing hold of your chi. Inhale, spiraling through that spine, okay? We don't want any wrenching, we don't want any sort of violent actions here, but we do want to keep the core engaged, unraveling from the centre out to the extremities. I'm going to make this the last one. Okay, and then we're here, and then we're just going to sit back into our child's pose, and you're going to pick up your left hand and place it over the right. We'll just go for a nice side body stretch. And then over to the other side, right over left. Try to keep your stretchy arm engaged, so try not to just let it flop. You want to keep some action there. Then you get more out of it. Okay, and then release. Okay, so we're going to lie on our backs. Now I suggest that you have a cushion, okay? Or if you've got one of these balls, this is a soft ball, not a hard ball, you could use this, okay? So we're going to, I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to go from a flexion to an extension in our back. And this is just so we can open out the chest a little bit more, get some mobility into the spine. Okay, so you place the cushion sort of around the shoulder blades area, okay? And we've got our head in our hands. And then as you inhale, you just get this little bit of a back bend and the chest is facing up. And then as you exhale, you're curling up, curling up, curling up, curling up. And then you lift one leg, and then at the top of the move, you squeeze. And then you inhale. So rather than just coming onto the floor, you're getting this chest opener. Okay, and you're alternating. I'm going to use the ball because it's just a little bit more for me, okay, so I can really feel that chest open. So just, you might need to sort of find something, have a little play around, see what your cushions are, or if you might have one of these balls. Okay, and then as you exhale, inhale. I'm going to do 2 more each side, exhale. And you're squeezing, and when you get to the top, squeeze a little bit more, squeezing all the juice out of the orange. And as you inhale, try not to do this. Try not to just let go. You want to keep some core work here. Keep working. There's no recovery with this one. Exhale. Well, there is if you need to. If you need to recover, you always can. 1 more each side. So we're alternating the flexion, which is the curl, which is the bit you're probably more familiar with an extension to get the balance. Okay, now when we finish that with your cushion or maybe even a rolled up towel, okay, you might feel that you want to just stretch it out. Now, this is lovely for me, you know, the ball's at the right height. If it's too pinchy, if you start to feel the pinching in the back or the neck, you know, make sure that you don't get that far. You want to back off if you do. Okay. Always go by feel. It's your body that is the governor here. Okay. You're going to bend one knee. You're going to bend the other knee. We'll circle the arms around. Just roll up that ball. And now we're going to do the plank. So we're doing the plank with a dumbbell row. And if you don't want to do the plank, that's fine. We're going to do this from hands and knees. And I'll show you what the options are. So from the plank, so if you're feeling really strong today, you're coming into the plank. And then this, we're going to imagine we've got a weight and we're just going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, you can do it from hands and knees. I'll do it on the other side just to get the balance. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3. And what we want to avoid is this, the twisting and the turning and the rocking and the rolling. So if I wasn't strong enough to do the plank, what might happen would be this, all this movement, all unwanted movement. And in that case, I'd sort of think, well, I need to get down onto my hands and knees, and then I've got more control. Okay, so just have a little play with that. You're going to do either from hands and knees or the plank. And the arm action, it's like you've got a dumbbell and you're doing this, squeezing the arm back. Squeeze it, it's like you've got somebody that you want to elbow behind you, but you're keeping the trunk still. Okay, so you're doing 3 on each side. And then when you finish that, we're going to lie on our backs. We'll go for some leg circles here, and we're going to open out the chest. So we're going to bring our arms into the cactus arms position, or capital E position, and then you're going to lift your right leg up in the air and your left leg is bent, and we're just going to circle the leg 3 times. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to change direction, make sure there's no unwanted movement around the pelvis. 3, 2, and 1. And we'll swap it over. So we've got the body is still apart from the moving part, okay? So keep the still bit still and the moving bit moving, and try not to move the still bits, okay? So just by keeping the still bit still, there's action, there's some work going on here. 3, 2, that's my hip flexor popping, if you can hear that noise there, and 1, and change direction for 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out, we'll shake out the legs, we'll give ourselves a little hug, and then we're going to do a spinal twist. And with the spinal twist, we want to keep our rib cage on the floor, okay? So the back of our ribs should be on the floor, and just to maintain that connection with the floor, there's going to be an action. We're going to get some active torsion here. So if we didn't have the action, what would happen is this, we'd twist and we'd collapse. Okay, now this is quite nice for a stretch, but we're not doing this, we're going to do an exercise rather than a stretch. So what we're after is this. So rib cage on the floor, and then as you inhale, the knees go over to one side, and you're working to keep that rib cage back on the mat. So we've got this active torsion. It's a bit like the wring in the dishcloth, and then come back, and then the knees go over to the other side, and come back. Now, I'm going to do a modification. If that's a bit too strong, you can have your feet on the floor. Look at my top foot's lifting there, because I want to keep my knees together. But we've got this active torsion. Exhale to come back. Inhale as your knees go over to the other side. Nice open chest. Exhale to come back. Okay, we're going to do one more, and now I'm going to show you a very advanced version. So it's totally your choice. Okay, you can give this a go if you want to. Legs along, really active in the core. Legs go over to one side. It's much harder to control, so be honest with yourself. If it's too much, go down to one of the other versions. But if it's not, keep going. Be careful of your back. Make sure it's your core that you're working, not your lower back. And that's key, actually. That's not even just like, it's better if you work your core than your back. That's what we actually have to do here. Otherwise, we're going to cause some damage to our lower backs. Okay, so we're going to rock from side to side. Now, if you're able to rock forwards and backwards, and you've got nothing wrong with your spine, like osteoporosis or arthritis, you can, if you want to, rock forwards and backwards. Okay, it depends on you. You know, if you're feeling like this is a bit too vigorous, side to side is absolutely fine. We're just going to come over onto our hands and knees. I'll just manoeuvre myself away from my bicycles, and then we're back into the prone position. And we're going to do a back extension, not a back extension. So again, we're opening up the chest, we're getting mobility in the back. And we're going to be like so with our arms. So we start off with our forehead on the floor, the back of our hands on the floor, and we're pressing our feet onto the floor. And as always, we've got the engagement in the core. So create that vacuum in your belly. Pelvic floor muscles are on. And you're going to inhale, and as you exhale, lengthen through your spine. Lengthen, keep your core on. The arms come up, and your palms are now facing each other. And then release. Now be careful, as you come up, be careful that it's not all hitting here. Your corset is on, it's like you're sliding a piece of paper underneath your belly. Suck those abdominals in. I've got cramp in my foot, I'll just give it a little shake. Okay, all is good with the world now, and I'm going to do that again. And this time I'm going to hold it, and now I'm feeling all right in my lower back. I'm going to lift the legs. You don't have to do that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Back into hands and knees position. We're going to press the shins on the floor, and then we're going to just circle out the backside. So we're just circling out the bum. Now if you don't like this, you can just go from side to side. We're going to circle out the bum the other way. Now if any of these things don't feel right for you, if you're feeling that pinching in the back, because that's what can happen, we'll release out of that. You know, as we start to kind of get a bit less functional in our mid-back, we can start to overdo it in our lower back. So it's a bit like, you might be aware of that. If you're feeling extra tight in your lower back, it just means that we need to wake this bit up a little bit more. So it just requires a little bit more work. Okay, so we're going to come on to our sides. So we're going to do some side bends, okay, and we're just back to that thing where our side flexion tends to kind of shut down before the rest of our mobility. So we're going to work into the side flexion a little bit, side bends, okay, and we're going to be on our tall arm. If your wrists are giving you any bother, you can come onto your forearm, okay, that puts a bit more pressure on the shoulder, okay, otherwise we're here. And you're going to inhale, and as you exhale, we're reaching up, and just pull yourself up, okay, if you can't lift, don't worry. Okay, and then we're here. Chest is facing forwards with this. Inhale, exhale. We're like a rainbow, and we want height and space. We don't want to collapse and then come back. We're going to do one more. So you want to flow up and flow down and not collapse or crash bang wallop. Okay, and then we're here. Good. We're in the mermaid position. And then from here, we're just going to, if you can, go hands free, just roll onto your back sit bones and shimmy the feet over to the other side. And that was our core strength helping us to do that. Okay, so we're here. And with the alignment here, you don't want that arm too close because you're going to get it in the shoulder. You just want the wrist, in this case, is just a little bit further away than the shoulder. So it gives us somewhere to go when we rise up. Okay, so inhale, and as you exhale, we're rising up. We've got that rainbow shape in the top side of the body. Try not to slump or collapse. Lovely stretch, and then come back down with control. And 2. And 3. Nice. And just enjoy that stretch. There's a real juicy stretch going on here for me. I don't know about you all, but it feels so nice on my side body here. And then release. And again, you know, if the tall arm is too much, come down onto your forearm. So, you know, that might just be a little bit more comfortable for you. Okay, and now we're on our backs again. If you've got your cushion, we're just going to use it. Okay, so we're just going to have a nice stretch. We're just going to enjoy that chest expansion again. So we're going to start off with our knees bent, okay? Knees are bent and feet are flat on the floor. And we're just going to take up, we're lying and we're releasing, okay? You can use a cushion, you can roll up a towel, just so you've got a little bit of lift through the chest. And what we want to get to here is like where our chest is going up. Okay, you don't want to feel like you're hoiking out of your waist. There'll be a nice arch in the whole back, but if you feel like you're kind of scrunching into your lower back, you want to kind of less of an object. You want to kind of have a less height in the object. Okay, so you have to just be able to sort of find what's right for you. So, and once you've got that organised, we're going to bring the arms up and over. And again, will the arms get to the floor? Don't know, okay? You might have one that gets to the floor all right, the other one might be a little bit far away. If it's painful, okay, ease off, don't work through pain. And then if your back's all right, you can lengthen one leg and lengthen the other leg. And then enjoy that lovely stretch. If it's not lovely, come out of it. Okay, and then release. You're going to bend one leg, you're going to bend the other leg, circle the arms back round, roll over onto your side. We've got our cushion up here now, and I'm going to do my favourite stretch for the chest and my favourite stretch for the back. It's so good for working on the fascia and the breathing. It's great, it's very relaxing. So we're lying in this fetal position and the arms are outstretched and our hands are in prayer. And then you're going to inhale as you open out. You're unravelling. And then you exhale as you close. Now if you're feeling creative, you can draw some shapes. You can draw a circle or an arch. And if you're going in your circles or your arches, change direction. So we're getting a really nice stretch around the, it's the whole of the side body, all around the back, all around the mid-back. It's great for the fascia, great for stretching out the fascia and keeping mobility. It's important here, and it's great for the for keeping the breathing apparatus healthy, maximising that lung expansion. Okay, we're going to do the other side. It's much nicer if your head is propped up on something, otherwise your neck feels like it's hanging down. We're opening out. This is your inhale. Close on the exhale. So your inhale is where you just can really expand the lungs and the chest. I'm just going to shorten my arm as I circle round so I don't grab hold of my bike. Health and safety. Okay, make sure you've got plenty of space. Changing direction. And I'm just going to do one more, and I think I'll do an open and a close. So we want this nice spirally twist through the spine. Again, you don't want to wrench or tug or be too violent or violent at all. Okay, and then we're here. So we're going to sit up. Now you might find that your hips have loosened up a little bit as the session's gone on, or not. Okay, mine definitely have. So I'm just going to come into this V-shaped position. Okay, and now I'm going to bring, so if you bring your right foot in to meet your left inner thigh, and then your right hand goes down like so. We're going to have a nice stretch here. If you want to lift off, half wild thing, and then circle the arm back round. Okay, and now we're just going to take a side stretch. So you've got left hand going down towards left foot, other arm comes up, stretching, stretching, stretching. Oh, that's so good. Okay, lean back, swap it over. Right hand, left hand. Inhale, exhale. Half wild thing. And release. So we don't really stretch or work out our side body enough in our everyday activities, hence why we're doing it now. So down towards the foot, and then the other arm comes up and over. and release. Okay, give those legs a little shake. TP fingertips behind, lengthening your front spine. And then we're going to come back into a cross-legged position, if you can manage cross-legged. Okay, now we default, okay, to a certain way. See if you can mix it up. See if you can do it the slightly weird way with the cross legs. If it's totally painful, then obviously don't. Again, you don't want to feel like, a bit unusual is fine, but you don't want to feel too awkward here. We're going to have our hands on our knees, and we're going to do some more sitting cat-cow. So as we exhale, we're scooping, we're shortening the front spine. As we inhale, you can just use your hands to pull on your knees nice and gently. Okay, this is our inhale. This is our exhale. This is our inhale. This is our exhale. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to drop the chin to the chest, and we're just going to do a couple of head rolls in one direction. If it feels a bit too icky here, just roll the head from side to side. Change direction. Nice and gentle here with the neck, okay? Try not to, you never want to rush through neck work. Okay, and then we're going to sit nice and tall. So sit bolt upright and then just ease off a little bit, because you don't want to feel all stiff. So we want to have a little bit of softness in the body. Okay, let the shoulders back and down. We're going to spread our wings. We're going to bring the palms together, and you're going to give yourselves a bow. Thank you, everyone. See you next time. Bye.